Hello guys, this is Paul McWhorter from TopTechBoy.com, and we are here today to learn Fusion 360 or die trying. We're actually going to have lesson number 13 in this series, and what we're going to look at today is we're going to look at a technique for creating more complicated 3D shapes in Fusion 360, and specifically we're going to be learning how to create a tool. And a tool is something where you create a mechanical object in Fusion 360 that you use to cut or intersect another three-dimensional object. Now what I need you to do is pour yourself a nice strong cup of coffee, fire up Fusion 360, and get ready to learn some cool stuff. Okay, specifically what I am trying to create here is I'm working on a little project where I would like to sort a bag of M&Ms, and so I want to pour a bag of M&Ms in, and then I want to mechanically be able to sort them by color. I'll have a color sensor and then a stepper motor, and it'll all be controlled by an Arduino. Now the electronics in the sensor part and the stepper motor are pretty straightforward, but the challenge is to be able to go out and get an individual M&M at a time. So what I want is I want to create this mechanical piston, and this piston will be in a cylinder and it will turn, and as it goes by I need an M&M to drop in this hole. But the challenge is you need the M&M to drop in and lay nicely in the hole. And if the bottom of the hole is flat, there's going to be a tendency for M&Ms to fall in this way and then not go over. And then as it spins around, it's going to chop the M&M in half. So I need a nice, smooth, rounded bottom. I need the bottom of the hole shaped like the bottom of an M&M. So this is going to be a little bit more advanced in the skill set that we're going to develop today, and what we're going to do is we will create a tool and use that tool to cut the hole in the cylinder. So let's go ahead and let's create a new design. Okay, fire up 360. I will get out of your way, have a sip of most excellent coffee, and we will begin drawing. Yes, we will. We'll begin with a sketch, and we will sketch a circle, center diameter circle. We're going to sketch in the XY plane, so we click here. We're already in circle mode. Hover over the origin, let it snap to the origin, click once, pull, click again. Now there's my circle. Type D for dimension, then click on the circle, come out, and how big do I want that? I want that 50 millimeters. I want the piston 50 millimeters in diameter. Type 50, enter. Boom. Okay, I also am going to want to create the tool, so I'm going to always be deliberate about where I put things. So I'm going to make a line, L for line, click on the origin, come out along the x-axis, click again, all right, escape to get out of line tool, D for dimension, click, drag, click. Okay, I want that 75 millimeters away. Escape to get out of the dimension tool, right mouse click on the line, and let's make it a normal construction line. Now I want a circle, click on that construction point, click, drag, click, and then D for dimension, click on the circle and come down. Okay, now how big do I want that circle? Well, that is going to be my cutting tool, and I want the hole to be the size of an M&M. So I get out my trusty calipers and I measure the M&M. Okay, the M&M looks to be about 13 millimeters across. But now understand, some M&Ms are going to be a little bigger, some are going to be a little bit smaller, and also you want just a little bit of margin. So if I take into account the variation in size of the M&Ms, plus I leave a little bit of margin, intuition tells me I should make this about 14 millimeters. Now actually it's a little bit more than intuition, because I have gone in and I have measured all of the M&Ms in several bags, and I've determined that 14 millimeters should pretty much accommodate all of them with a little bit of room to spare. So I'm going to make the hole 14. Boom. Okay. Now I'm going to stop the sketch and then click on the big circle. I'm going to E for extrude, and then how far do I want to extrude it? I want it 50 millimeters high. Boom. So there's my piston that is going to be spinning around picking up the M&Ms. Now I need to come over here. You know, it sometimes turns your sketches off when you extrude, so I want to turn that sketch back on. You go to the little light bulb and you click on the light bulb. Now I want to click here, extrude. I'm going to make this half as big, so I'm going to make this 25 tall. Boom. Okay, so this is going to be my cutting tool. Now I need to do some more work on the cutting tool, and plus I need to put the position where I want the bottom of the hole in the cylinder. So to do that, I need to go back to sketch mode. So I'm going to create a sketch and I will create a line. I want to go in the XZ plane. That's the red-blue plane, so I'm going to come like that. Okay, and I'm going to turn that body off so that I can do some drawing. Now, where do I want the bottom of the hole? Well, I want the bottom of the hole to be halfway up the cylinder, so I need to kind of indicate, give myself a point to design to. So I'm going to click on the origin, and I'm going to come up, click again, escape, D for dimension, come over. So if it's 50 high on the cylinder, and I want the bottom of the hole to be halfway up, that would be 25. Okay. No, I'm not doing parametric design this time. It just, for the videos, I always in real life do parametric design. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and look at my parametric design video. But if I do parametric design during the training, it slows the training down. And so I can go faster if I don't do the parametric design here. Okay, now come over, right mouse click, let's say escape to get out of the dimension tool. Right mouse click on that, make it a normal construction line. Type L to get back to line. Now I want to come out, click again, escape, right mouse click, normal construction line, and then I want to dimension it. D for dimension. Okay. Now what do I want to dimension this? This point here is going to be the bottom of the hole. Where should the bottom of the hole be? Well, I want the hole to be 1. I want it to be the thickness of an M&M. So what is the thickness of an M&M? I get my trusty calipers, and it looks like about 7 millimeters. But again, some are a little bit thicker, and you want a little bit of margin. And doing all the testing, I've determined that 8 millimeters will accommodate everything with a little room to spare. So I'll make it 8. Oops. That should be 8 deep. Okay. So that was not what I meant to type in there. I want the hole 8 from the edge of the cylinder. Here's the cylinder. Okay. And then I want the bottom of the hole 8 in. So if the cylinder is 50 in diameter, it is 25 in radius, so from the center to the edge is 25, and then I want to come in 8 from that, so the distance from the center would be 17. 25 minus 8 is 17. 17, enter. Okay, so that is where I want to put the bottom of the hole. Does that make sense? Hope it does. Okay, now I need to come over here and I need to do a little work to create this cutting tool, because if I use this cylinder here as a cutting tool, let me get the phone away from the microphone. Sorry if it was making a little bit of a beeping noise there, a little crackly noise. Okay, so let me just get rid of this phone here. All right, so I need to make the top of this cutting tool shaped like an M&M. An M&M is not a hemisphere, so you can't put half of a circle. You want sort of an arc. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to give myself a construction line to begin with. So L for line, hover over and snap to your construction point there that you put earlier. Click once, come up, click again, escape to get out of the tool, Okay, right mouse click, come on, right mouse click, normal construction line, okay, and now D for dimension. Okay, what should this dimension be? Well, the cylinder is 25, and then I want to add to it half of the thickness of the M&M. Okay, so you see the M&M, that curved part is just half the thickness. So we said that the M&M should be 8 thick, so half of that would be 4. 25 plus 4 is 29. Okay, so I want to now create an arc like that. So what I will do is I will get a circle, but the type of circle that I want this time, where is, I should be over here, circle. I want a 3-point circle. Now you see how I already have a point here on the edge, so I click on that edge. I come over to the other edge and click, but now I say I want to click there at that construction point. Now look at that. You see I've got a shape like half of an M&M. Now I want to trim off what I am not using. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to trim this, and I'm going to trim this, okay, and I'm going to trim that. Now the problem is this is a construction line here, so I don't actually have a closed surface, so I need to just close that off by getting L for line, come here, click, come here, click, and now I'm going to escape to get out of the line tool. You see now I have a closed shape, so I want to revolve that around. You can't revolve around a construction line, so I need to create, under construct, I need to create an axis. And I want to go an axis between 2 points because I've got to give an axis there to rotate that around. So axis through 2 points. The first point is this center point in the bottom. Okay. The next point is this one up here. And then if I click OK, now I have a new blue line that's an axis. Now what I want to do is I want to create a revolve. Okay. What is it that I want to revolve? I want to revolve this little shape here. So I click on it. Now I need to come over here and select, let me move this closer, select axis. So now I'm going to select the axis that I'm going to rotate around. And it's not over here any of this nonsense, it's this blue axis that I created. So I want to rotate about that. I want to go 360 degrees. One-sided, and I want to join it because I want this to join to the body down underneath it. So I say join. Okay, boom, look at that. I have something that looks like a tool that would cut a hole in that cylinder. I'm going to turn my other cylinder back on over here, and I'm going to turn this other sketch on so I can kind of see things. Now what I want to do is I want to put this over here. Okay, and I am not going to be very brave. I'm going to do that in 2 steps. So I'm going to right mouse click and I'm going to say move copy. What do I want to move copy? I want to move copy this. What's going on? I want to move copy this body. Okay, so I've selected the body. It's a body. I've selected it, and I want to do a free move. So I click here under free move, and then I got to set the pivot point. I don't want to pivot around this corner, so I've got to click select the pivot point. I get a check mark, and then I want to put it right in the middle. Okay, now I'm going to rotate around that middle point, and then the angle, I'm going to Y angle rotate minus 90. Minus 90. I don't know why they called that the negative direction. I'm a math teacher. I call that the positive direction, but counterclockwise here is going to be negative. Okay, and oh, I'm sorry, I've got to check the checkbox here under set pivot. Okay, so let me just do this again just to be real clear. Right mouse click, move copy. I want a body. I want that body. Okay, I want to do a free move. Now I have to click on set pivot, put the pivot point in the middle, and now you have to click the check mark. Okay, Now you come down to y angle minus 90. Boom! Look at that. There it is. Okay. Now, the problem is I want to move this point right here to that point. And the problem is right now there is not a point there, so I need to project this or intersect this with that plane so it'll give me a point at that intersection. So you come up to sketch and I want to say project include, and I want an intersection. And what do I want to intersect? I want to intersect this plane, okay, with this, with this body, okay, and then I say okay. So I intersected the X, what is that? I've lost track of it. I think it's the XZ plane. I clicked on it with this body, and now that gives me this magical point here. Now I'm going to stop sketch, and I think I'm going to turn this first body off so I can see things more clearly. Now I want to move copy. I want to move point to point. The point I want to move is this one. Let me make sure I can get that one right there. Okay. Oops. Select the point, that one right there. And then the second point is right here, and look at that, it's showing me that line. It's saying, buddy, this is what I'm going to do. Is that what you want? Yep, that's what I want. So I click there, and then I say okay. Boom, look at that. I've got that right in the exact position. Let's turn body 1 back on by clicking there. Okay, so now I have this tool inserted in this object. All right. Now, this, my friend, is where the magic happens. You want to come up to modify, and you want to come down to combine. Okay, and what do I want to combine? Did I do that right? I want to create. No, I want to combine. Okay. I clicked something wrong before. Let's do this again to make sure. You come under modify and you come down to combine. Okay. The target body is the body that you want to cut, the body you want to act upon. That's this one. Okay. What is your tool? My tool is this. Okay. If I said intersect, it would get rid of everything except where the two bodies intersected, and then I would end up with this as my new mechanical element. It's actually kind of an interesting shape. It's a very complicated shape, but actually this is the shape of the whole, so I don't want to intersect. I could do join, and then I would have something that would be the combination of the two elements, but actually what I want to do is cut. Okay, and that is going to take the tool and make a tool-shaped hole in the body. You don't want a new component. You don't want to keep the tool because you want the tool to go away when you're done. I guess maybe if you were going to cut multiple holes, you could keep the tool, but I don't want to do that. So I am going to say okay, and then let's look at what happened. Boom! Look at that. I have an M&M shaped hole cut in this piston. All right. Now, as you can imagine, as any good instructor would, before doing this, I actually fabricated it. And so you can look at it there, an M&M shaped hole in the bottom of this piston. Also, what I did was I went ahead and created the cylinder, and that's just a standard hole through it. And what the idea is, let's see if I have a little funnel, to have a little funnel here. Okay, and then if I put M&Ms up here, if I twist this around, it should just drop them through one at a time. Okay, so let's see if that works. I am woefully short of M&Ms today, but I do have two. All right, and then you see there's a hole there in the bottom, and so now let's turn the piston. I just heard it click. It picked one up and it drops it. Click, it picked one up and it drops it. Okay, so do you see what I can do with this? I can pour, or I can spill M&Ms all over the place. I can pour the M&Ms in here, and then I can turn it around, and it's going to one at a time drop the M&Ms out. Okay, so how would I make a sorter with this? Well, over here I'm going to design in a slot for a color sensor, and then this is going to have a stepper motor on it. So when the piston picks up the M&M, it's going to turn it over to this position. The color sensor is going to look at it. If it's the desired color, it's going to go clockwise and drop it out the bottom. If it's not the desired color, it's going to go counterclockwise and it's going to drop it out of another hole over here. And so this won't sort, with this simple mechanism, it's not going to sort them into all of their individual colors, but there's going to be buttons and you can press the button. Like I want the green M&Ms, you press the green and then all the green M&Ms will come down. So anyway, I thought this was a pretty neat little project, and actually it was needed because as I was trying this with a flat bottom hole, the M&M would go in like this and it could end up standing up and not going all the way in, but it's like 100% of the time the M&M never stands up. It always just goes down nice and smooth into that perfectly shaped hole. What I hope you see is that this lesson isn't really about making an M&M sorter. This lesson is when you need to do a more complicated shape, because man, if you look at this thing, I would not want to go in there and start trying to draw that hole. What I want to do is, I can't think in negative space, I think in positive space. So I design a tool, I think in terms of a tool, and then this tool is, I'm going to make the tool the shape I want, and then I'm going to move over and I'm going to cut with it. Also think about that intersect feature. That was pretty useful too, where you can create a new body that's the intersection of two bodies. Let's just take a quick look at that like if we, let me kind of go back here, right, and this time I'm going to do a modify. I'm going to do a combine. This is the body, this is the tool, and what I want to do is I want to intersect, and then okay. Man, look at what a kind of sophisticated shape this is that we created. Do you see, let me get this. Do you see how this is on this side the profile of the cylinder? It's not flat, and then this is the profile of the M&M, and so you have kind of like this very elegant intersection between two cylinders at 90 degrees, and so that would be very hard to do without using these techniques. Okay. Hope you guys have enjoyed this lesson. Hope you'll leave your comments down below. If you liked it, think about giving us a thumbs up. Think about sharing this series of lessons with others. I really appreciate it. I've gotten a lot of really good feedback on this series of lessons. Appreciate you leaving your comments down below, and appreciate you subscribing to the channel. This is Paul McWhorter with TopTechBoy.com. I will talk to you guys later. Wow, that's good coffee.